Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahay. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 68 to 72 of chapter 2. Tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
Tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
nigrihitani sarvashah,
nigrihitani sarvashah,
indriyanindriyarthebhyah,
indriyanindriyarthebhyah,
tasya prajna pratisthita,
tasya prajna pratisthita,
ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
tasyam jagati sanyami,
tasyam jagarti sanyami,
yasyam jagrati bhutani,
yasyam jagrati bhutani,
sa nisha pashyato muneः,
sa nisha pashyato muneः,
आपूर्यमाणमचल pratishtham,
आपूर्यमाणमचल प्रतिष्ठम्,
samudramapah pravishanti yadvat,
समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत्,
tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve,
तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे,
sa shantimapnoti na kamakami,
स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी,
vihaya kamanyas sarvan,
विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान्,
पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः,
पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः,
निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः,
निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः,
स शान्तिमधिगच्छति,
स शान्तिमधिगच्छति,
एषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः partha
एषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः पार्थ
nainam prapya vimuhyati
नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति
stitva syamantakaalepi
स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि
brahma nirvanamricchati.
ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So last week we had a very powerful sadhana session on the auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima. Now, as I mentioned to you, it is not enough if you merely attend these sessions, but you should receive the higher Shakti, the energy which is being given, and then you should use this energy and wisdom in your life and transform your life. See, what do I mean by using this wisdom? One is to generally receive this knowledge in a very general way. People who receive the knowledge in a very general way, they may do the sadhana also on a daily basis. Their lives will get transformed overall, but the specific individual purification will not happen. See, one of the key things which we are doing in the yogic approach is getting into the specifics. And when we are getting into the specifics of the verses, whether it is something like Nigrihitani or Mahabahu, it is not getting into the specific analysis of that word, but we are using that to create a specific kind of purification within us. We are supposed to do that. That is in your hands. The master's duty is to give you that opportunity, provide you that wisdom and also the energy, the Shakti to be able to practice. But then how much are you successful in terms of evolving spiritually depends upon how much you actually use this wisdom to clear up the specific blocks which are there in your personality. See, for example, when we did the Mahabaho, I was mentioning that one of the dimensions of Mahabaho is you need to overcome tamas. So that wisdom was given. Thereafter, you need to take it up and see what are all the areas of tamas within your personality. You may be tamasic at the physical level. Some people may not be tamasic at the physical level. They may be very, very active people. They would have conquered laziness. But they may be tamasic at the emotional level. What is tamas at the emotional level? This is just an example I am giving. Stubbornness and unwillingness to change. See, whenever you're lazy, you're unwilling to put an effort and change in something. So at the emotional level, tamas can manifest as stubbornness and an unwillingness to change. At the intellectual level, it may manifest as a fanaticism, becoming fanatic about an idea. People who are tamasic at the intellectual level will not be open to new ideas. They will be close-minded. So you need to find out in which area of my personality am I tamasic. How is that tamas manifesting? What are all the different aspects of my life where this tamas is manifesting? Is the tamas manifesting in terms of finance? Am I neglecting that area? Am I neglecting my career? Am I neglecting my family? Like this, you need to do your homework. So on one hand, you're doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, which will further boost your energies. It will raise your consciousness. On the other hand, you need to use this wisdom and specifically address those areas within your personality and those areas of your life where the various negativities are manifesting. It could be laziness, it could be some negative emotion, it could be stubbornness, lack of open-mindedness, unwillingness to change. In so many ways, the blocks, the negativities will be manifesting. And no two individuals are alike. So how the blocks may be manifesting in your life may be totally different from how the blocks will be manifesting in your partner's life, for example, or from your friend's life. So there is no point in comparing. The wisdom being the same, the application of this wisdom will vary from individual to individual. See, Krishna is talking to Arjuna, who is a warrior. Now somebody has asked this question. Now Arjuna was a warrior, a Kshatriya, and Krishna gave all these messages specifically to Arjuna. So it is a personal conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Now the question which has been asked is, how was that universally applicable? It's a very good question. The conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, how is that universally applicable to everyone, and that too at all periods of time? See, this was given in the previous yuga, in the Dwapara yuga. Even when we take the Vedas, the Upanishads, dates back to, where it was given very, very long back. The messages given in the Ramayana, it was a further, we have to go back to the previous yugas. So whatever was given during that time, how is it applicable now, number one? And secondly, the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna had given it to a Kshatriya, a warrior. So how can that be applicable to me as a businessman? This was a question which has been asked. Or a homemaker may ask, how is it applicable at home? Whatever be your profession, whatever be your lifestyle. The answer to that is this. The ancient wisdom consists of the principles of life. Those principles never ever change with time, just as the various natural laws of physics, chemistry, biology, these things don't change. The law of gravity always remains the same. Similarly, the other laws. Similarly, the spiritual laws, the spiritual principles remain the same. But the application of these principles will vary. The way Arjuna applied this principle was different, and the way you need to apply these principles will be different because your situation is different. You're not facing a world war. So what are we doing in the yogic approach? We are not merely studying the specific messages which Krishna gave to Arjuna and stopping with that. Through those specific messages, we are going back to the root principles, because whatever Krishna is saying is all based on the root principles as given in the Vedas. And the Vedas, whatever are given in the Upanishads and the various other scriptures also, they are all based, those principles are based on the natural laws of life, the spiritual laws of life. So through these specific messages, we are getting back to the root principles. That is what is the yogic approach. See, as and when the context comes, I am giving you different dimensions of the yogic approach, so that you get the slowly you get a full understanding of what this yogic approach is. It cannot be defined unidimensionally in one way, So once we get to the principles through the yogic approach, with the wisdom, that is the wisdom of the principles, and also the practical tips are being given to you every Sunday. And along with that, the higher Shakti is also being invoked. The Nididhyasana meditation is also being done to install the seeds of these principles in the deeper layers of your mind, so that it will be easy for you to practice. Thereafter, you need to take these principles, you need to take these practical tips and do the specific sadhana apart from whatever you're doing generally in terms of yoga sankirtan and all that. Throughout your day, you need to see how to apply these principles in your lifestyle. See, nowhere in the scriptures are they asking you to change your lifestyle, which means if you're a businessman, you should continue to do business. If that is your swadharma. If you're a homemaker, you will continue doing that. The change should be done only if that is not your nature. So in your field, how do you apply these principles? That is what you need to focus on. So the Guru Shakti was powerfully awakened last week, and all of you received it also very well. It was wonderful. But thereafter, you should make use of that to transform every aspect of your life. Generally, there is a tendency among sadhaks to do sadhana in a generalized way, and they leave out the specific aspects which require correction. So when you do that, then you will find an amazing change. The results will be very fast. This is so important in order to get prepared for further higher sadhana, for deeper sadhana. See, as we go along, the higher aspects cannot be given to everyone and anyone just like that, because the Shakti, the energy will be very high, it will be difficult to handle. So you need to follow everything which is being given in a very sincere way, with utter humility and devotion. If you sincerely practice, you can purify yourself and you can prepare yourself for further higher sadhana. So all these principles which are being given in verse number 68, see how you can apply them in your life. Then next verse when we go, see how you can apply them in your life. If you're unable to if there are too many principles are there, if you're unable to remember everything at one go, doesn't matter. Just pick up one or two which inspire you and put in your best efforts to practicalize these principles. So what are we seeing? The key message in verse number 68, Nigrihitani, means, I explained in the last session also, staying put in the center, not going to the extremes. So this comparison was also made when we started doing this verse, between this verse and verse number 58. So verse number 58, he talked about samharate, and here he is giving this word nigrihitani. So that combination is so powerful. Samharate means you're practicing withdrawal. Nigrihitani means you're firmly established. You become a master. So that principle should be taken up and you should apply it in the other areas of your life also. See, whenever you try to master anything in life, this is not only with respect to spirituality, but with respect to any art, any science, worldly or spiritual, initially you will find that it is difficult. Supposing you want to learn to play an instrument. Let us say you want to learn to play the flute. Now when you take the flute and you start playing, no sound will come. Initially just the air only can, you will only be blowing the air there. Sound will not come. But if you go on applying yourself on a consistent basis, you go to an expert in that field, learn, and then when you keep practicing that consistently, whatever was difficult to you in the beginning will become very, very easy as time goes by. When you see some of the great artists playing instruments, or some of the great singers singing, dancers dancing. Right now the Olympics is going on, when you see the gymnasts performing amazing somersaults and this, that. So, when you see all that, you are amazed. They do it with such ease. But you go and talk to any of them, was it like this when you started off? No. When they started off, they would have found it very, very difficult. Then how did they reach this stage? Unconsciously, they would have practiced this only, moving from samharate to nigrihitani. They would have continued to put in their consistent efforts with a lot of passion, enjoying those efforts, till they came to a stage where it is nigrihitani now. It's easy flow. So any habit which you want to build, anything which you want to master, this is the formula. Start with samharate and move to nigrihitani. At every level this is applicable spiritually. Supposing, let us say you are at 10% level. Now you want to move to 20% level. Now 20% will be difficult to start with. But then if you keep on putting in your sincere efforts, after a while that will become very easy. Which means now you've got established at 20%. Which means you have reached nigrihitani with respect to 20% level of development. But what is interesting is, now when you try to practice 30%, you have to move up further. Again the same principle of samharate has to be practiced. When you try and practice 30%, whatever wisdom is applicable, the sadhanas of 30% level, you will find that will be difficult to start with. What happens is, see, most people, they give up their efforts when things are difficult. Who can be an achiever in life? I'm sure all of you want to be achievers in your field, whatever be that. Who can be an achiever? One who does not stop his or her efforts when things are difficult to practice. It's a very, very important principle. This is one of the key aspects of your sadhana. So kindly, pay attention and absorb this principle. You can become an achiever only if you continue to put in your efforts with passion and enjoyment and cheer in spite of the difficulties which you are facing. Among 100 people, you will find 1 or 2 only will be following this, and that is why they are achievers and others are not. What others do is the moment something is difficult, they give up their effort. They say, oh, it is too difficult. So they put the blame on circumstances or someone else or something. So with respect to worldly arts, this is so true. Then you can imagine with respect to the spiritual growth, how much more you need to apply this, because to control the mind, to gain mastery over the mind is the most difficult thing. You will have to go through many phases where your attempts may be unsuccessful, but those are all tests. Somewhere down the line, I have seen people, they stop their efforts. But for that person, that's why I said Mahabaho is very, very important. Yasya tasya, whoever remains with the efforts on a consistent basis till the end, that person is an achiever. Yasya, whoever does that, that person can become a sthita prajna. So practice this principle first with respect to the worldly things. Whenever you find something difficult, just remember the difficulty, that is, you're finding it difficult because you are at the samharate stage. It is not because you are incapable of doing it. When you compare it with some other person who has mastered it, you will feel, oh, that person is easily doing it, I am unable to do it. That's why we say don't compare yourself with anyone. Whenever you find doing something is difficult, it means you are at the samharate stage. You should learn the skills, should learn what ought to be done, and then you should continue with your efforts. After a while, you will start moving towards nigrihitani. The same thing which was difficult will become very easy for you, effortless. At that time, immediately you should not stagnate. You should always aim for the highest. When it comes to spiritual growth, no compromise. The highest goal of self-realization, enlightenment, should be achieved. Till then, you should not be satisfied with some limited benefits and stop your sadhana. That is why after saying nigrihitani, immediately he says sarvashah, means wholly, fully, totally. Spiritual growth is never partial. It is always whole. Spirituality is becoming Purnam. Purnam means complete in all aspects. That is why, it is always suggested by the great yogis that everything which you do in life, you should give it your best shot and try, and you should try to do things as perfectly as possible. Even though 100% perfection externally is not possible, you should try to do things in the best possible way, and you should go on improving. When you build that attitude with respect to external things, incidentally, you're also developing the uncompromising attitude within your mind. And that uncompromising attitude is what will take you to the highest, because this path is not so easy. The inner path, the inner journey of self-realization, initially it will be difficult, but as you progress, good things will start happening to you. You will start attracting a lot of abundance, wealth. You will start becoming more successful in your endeavors. Your relationships will become wonderful. Your health will become better. In every sense of the term, your life will start becoming better. You will start acquiring a lot of powers, siddhis. You must have heard riddhis, siddhis, navanidhis and all these things. To a yogi, they mean nothing. He has no value for all these things, because his only value is the infinite. He has value only for the infinite. So if you want to become a sthita prajna, that word sarvashah is also so important. Mere nigrihitani does not convey the full message. When you add nigrihitani, when you add sarvashah to nigrihitani, then the powerful message is created. The impact is created. Now you absorb that energy, and when you get back to your life, you need to practice that. So anything which you do in life, try to become as knowledgeable and skillful in that area. Don't do things in a casual way. Don't do things in a half-hearted way, with in a limited way, with limited knowledge and skills. See, some people do things in a very generalized way, but when they get into specifics, they don't want to put in efforts. That is tamas. So if you're a homemaker, you're cooking, now put your heart and soul into that sarvashah. Learn all the aspects of cooking. Go on improving. Every day, you keep learning. Entire life is a learning process. It's so important during this Guru Purnima time that you build this quality within you. Similarly, in your office, whatever you're doing, you go on improving day by day. That is the meaning of sarvashah. Some aspect or other you can keep learning. The world will start praising you. See, one thing will happen when you start doing your sadhana, when you practice all this, you will become very good at whatever you're doing. So naturally you will start getting recognized by others in your circle. A lady has sent a mail saying that she's a homemaker, and she says, she's been doing the sadhana for the last 2 years, and now what has happened is all her family members, everyone has started noticing a lot of changes in her. Whether it is the way she's cooking, the food has become more tasty. That's what she says. And the ability to take pressure has increased. Even when the children are throwing tantrums, she's able to handle it much better. So her husband is, has started noticing the changes. Her in-laws and several other relatives, they are all coming to her for advice, for suggestions. Very interesting. This will happen to every one of you in your field. But that is the time you have to be careful. Because if you allow those praises to get into your head, then you will stop putting in efforts. The recognition which you get from others is a small is based on a small percentage which they are seeing outside. But your growth should be eternal. You should be a Nitya Shishya. Nitya Shishya means an eternal student. That is what the great avatar Bhagwan Dattatreya said. Be an eternal student. Always keep learning. So don't be satisfied with others' recognition. Rather, you should constantly strive to improve every aspect of your life. And when you're putting an effort externally, you're actually training your mind to develop this uncompromising attitude. And when you have an uncompromising attitude, nobody can stop you. If you keep doing your sadhana, you yourself will not stop your sadhana. You will not be happy. I attended 2 Yoga Sankirtan empowerments. I attended the 22-day course. You will only be looking for more and more. So that is the power of Sarvashaha. Wholly, totally, from all sides, you need to gain mastery. Now, when we talk about the Nigrihitani with respect to Samharate, this question will come to a sadhak's mind. That is, the first step is also withdrawal. The final step is also withdrawal. I have actually sort of partially answered this question. I'm going to give you some more tips today. See, generally we say sense control is the first step. Now here he is saying sense control is the last step. Why is he saying that? What is the significance of that? How can the first step be the same as the last step also? One one point which has already been given is that in the first step you're trying to master, and finally you are firmly established, it's effortless. That is the Nigrihitani. Now, another thing which you need to understand is that whenever you're mastering anything in life, even though we divide it into the first step, second step, third step and final step and all that, actually there are no different steps. Whatever you do on the first day is what you will do on the final day also, the final step also. The depth will increase. A classic example is, if you go to a martial arts class, now the first day they will teach you how to punch. Now, when you talk to a master who is in martial arts, who has got, let us say, a very high degree of black belt in karate, when you ask that person, what do you practice every day? he will say, I am practicing the same punch only. Now, if you don't understand the deeper principle, you will get very much confused. First, the beginner is also practicing a punch. An advanced practitioner, a master, is also practicing the same punch. Then what is the difference? The difference is in depth. When you initially punch, you will be punching just from here. Slowly, a martial artist, he, through practice, many months of practice, he goes to the next level, which is generating power from the elbow when he is punching. And then after many months of practice, he learns to generate the power or energy from the shoulder. And then he learns to tap the power from the hip movement when he is punching. He doesn't punch merely from here, but the power comes from the movement with certain kinds of a slight twist movement which advanced practitioners will make with their hips. And then like that, when they go deep, the very, very advanced masters, they get the power from their big toe, which is there in the foot, the pran shakti, the chi energy, the ki in Japanese language, Chinese language they call it chi. Yogic language is the prana. So they draw the prana and they punch. It is very interesting. The punch will look same, but the depth will increase. It is the same thing in spirituality also. See, all of you who've been doing Yoga Sankirtan regularly, who've been attending the empowerment courses also regularly, you will find that the same act of listening to Yoga Sankirtan, doing that meditation, the external act will be the same, but your internal depth would have increased. This is a very important principle in sadhana. Why this is very important also, I'll tell you. One of the temptation, or I would say an obstacle, which every sadhak faces in his or her path, is that the mind has this weakness for variety. The mind will want to jump from one thing to another. That's why the mind is compared to a monkey in the scriptures. The mind does not want to stick to one thing and go deep. Now, if you want to master the samharate and get into nigrihitani, you need to conquer that weakness. That is why the first step is also same, the final step is also same externally, but internally there is a world of a difference, that depth-wise. When you absorb that message, then the mind will no longer look for variety. See, we are doing the Bhagavad Gita. This is a key principle, one of the principles of yogic approach. That is sticking to one thing and going deep. Why do we say, stick to one person, one guru, stick to one path and pursue it properly? If your goal is to merely gain knowledge of the Vedas, knowledge of the scriptures, then you don't need to stick to one person. You're not seeking the highest. There is no deep relationship with the guru, But when you connect with a guru, a master who is giving that energy, now in order to receive the energy, in order to practice whatever he is giving, that itself is a lifetime process. You will not have time for anything else. The moment you allow the mind to wander here and there, then you will not have time for depth. So you need to choose between the length, that is the variety, and depth. A person who chooses variety will get to know so many things, but he will not master anything. A person who chooses depth may not know so many things, but he or she will become a spiritual master, will master the mind. And once you go into the depth of one thing, the beauty is you will reach the infinite. And when you reach the infinite, you will gain access to all the other knowledges also. This is like a wheel. When you are in the circumference of the wheel, you know only that point. You cannot control the other points. Whereas if you travel and come to the center, the hub of the wheel, once you get established in the center of the wheel, now you can control the entire circumference of the wheel. So similarly, with one approach, having gone to a master and you're getting the yogic approach, you have the yoga sankirtan sadhana, whatever the sadhanas are. Now you stick to that and you go on increasing the depth in that. A time would come where you will start moving towards the center, which is the infinite. And the more you are towards the center, all other approaches also will be revealed to you automatically. See, a master may have practiced only one thing, but how is he able to guide everyone, irrespective of what their nature is? Because he has gone to the source, and that source is infinite, and that from infinite only all the knowledges, all the paths have come. So you don't need to practice every path. You don't, if you want to truly understand the scriptures, you don't need to keep externally studying all the scriptures. If you do the sadhana properly and move from samharate to nigrihitani stage, sarvashaha, in its entirety, and get established in the infinite, instantly you will master everything, all the knowledges, all the paths. So the starting point is also same, the ending point is also same externally, but internally it's totally different. See, supposing let us say you have a bangle, a child has a bangle, and the child also has a ring. Both are made up of gold only, but the child does not understand that it is made up of gold. Now initially you explain to the child what the properties of the bangle. You say the bangle is it's in a circular shape, and so many other properties. Similarly, you explain the properties of the ring. Then the child also has a gold necklace. You explain the properties of the necklace. They all look so different. So step by step, first you explain the color, then you explain the shape, and then you slowly introduce the concept of gold. The child cannot understand gold because it can see the shape, it can see the color. But when you talk of gold, it asks you, what is gold? Now you show the bangle and say, this is the gold. Now the child will understand that bangle is gold, but it will not be able to understand that the necklace is also gold, the ring is also gold. Then you say, no, all these are gold. Now a child asks you, how are you saying that? The bangle is round in shape, the ring has a different shape, different structure. I am wearing the ring here, whereas I am wearing the bangle here, I am putting the necklace around my neck. So how do you say, what is the gold in this? So slowly you educate the child, and you take the child to a goldsmith, and the goldsmith takes the child's mind out of the shapes and forms, and finally exposes the gold to the child. Now, once the child understands that this is all gold, now what does the child also realize? It is not that only when they are crushed at the final step that they have become gold. Right from beginning, the bangle was gold only. Right from beginning, the ring and the necklace, all these were gold only. But the child was not able to see that. So it had to start from the differences, the shape, the color and all these things. But in the final step, once it sees the gold, once it gets into that understanding, thereafter, whether it is the first step when it was trying to understand the shape of the bangle or other ornaments, or whether it was the second step where it was trying to understand the color of those ornaments, or the third step where some other property, at every step it was nothing but gold only. So externally these steps look different, but inherently it was all gold throughout. So it is the same thing in spirituality. You start off with sense control, and then you go to the next step, which is controlling your emotions. Like this, it looks as if you're going step by step. But what is interesting is, in the first step itself, it is gold. The divinity is there right in the first step. The second step, so-called second step, the same divinity is there. You say, oh, I have so much of emotional negativity. Divinity is there in that also. But you are unable to realize that. So when you come to Nigrihitani stage, that is when you can clearly see that there were actually no separate steps. If the child had this wisdom, he or she would have understood that it is gold in the first step itself. Having crossed over all that, the child is able to see. Similarly, these great masters, having crossed over all that, they are saying there is no path. The path and goal are same. There are no different steps and all that. The first step is the last step. The last step is the first step. You have to go on just increasing the depth of your sadhana. This is a very important principle, because based on that, I'll give you the sadhana, what sadhana you need to do, what is exactly this Nigrihitani. So as I told you, Nigrihitani doesn't mean physical withdrawal. You may be amidst sense objects, that is, you may be contacting the sense object, you may be amidst sense enjoyment, or you may withdraw yourself physically from sense enjoyment. That depends upon the external circumstances. But what about your mind? This is what I was introducing, this concept I had introduced to you in the last session, where the middle path means the mind being in the middle path. So how do you actually practice this samharate and get into the Nigrihitani? What is the difference between a person who is not spiritually developed, let us say who is a beginner, he is also contacting the senses, and a person as he starts advancing, he is also contacting the senses. You are not going to run away from anything. You are going to go through all the experiences, sensual experiences, emotional experiences, everything like any other person. Then what is the difference? The difference is internal. That much has been explained to you. So what exactly is the internal difference? It is the base or the center from which you are operating. See, for example, a company is there. Now, the company is selling the products, let us say, in 10 different countries. But the headquarters, the base of operations will be at one place. That will be the center. From that headquarters, all important decisions will be made only there, and those decisions will be implemented throughout those 10 countries. So the operation practically may be in 10 countries, but the center of operations is at one place. So now the question which I am posing to you, and this is a question which I want you to reflect upon, is that what is the center of your life? I am not talking about the external experiences which you are going through, but from what center are you operating? Today, most people are operating from external centers. For some people, money becomes a center of their lives. Right now we are not saying what is wrong or what is right. Nothing is right or wrong. Just identify your center first. For some people, money is a center. For some people, name and fame is a center. For some people, work is a center. So we say some people are workaholics. No? They go on working without rest. They may overdo it. So when a person's center is money, everything will be decided only based on profits and losses. Even family, when he wants to find a partner, he will say, how much is the partner earning? I am earning so much, the partner also should earn so much. See, it is always the money only. The criteria, the main criteria is money. If your center is name and fame, every action which you do, everything which you do in life will be only to get recognition from others. You may have everything in life, but you will not be happy unless others praise you. If your center is knowledge, that is information, then you will base everything on that only. That will become your reference point. See, the center of your operations becomes the reference point for all your decisions which you make in life, for each and every action which you do, for each and every word which you utter, for every emotion which you entertain. So if you want to practice Nigrihitani, the first step is find your center. If your center is some aspect of the world, then you moved very, very far away from your inner self. Today, it is very sad. Most of the people are living their lives like that. Their center is something else. So you can easily understand it in exaggerated situations. Supposing a person's center is alcohol, such a person we call such a person as an alcoholic, who is addicted to alcohol. Now every decision he takes will be based on alcohol only, or a drug addict. He will be prepared to give away his wealth, everything just for that extra dose of drug. So whatever your center is that influences your personality, that influences your behavior, and that gives rise to various karmas in your life. Karmas means actions and reactions. We'll be anyway studying that in chapter 3 in detail. So you should locate the center, and your first goal should be to move the center, that is, shift the center of your operation from the world to yourself. You will still continue to function in the world, but the center alone will be shifted. Once you shift it to the physical body, that is considered as a low level in spirituality. But compared to compared to having a center outside yourself, this itself is a development. So once you shift your focus to the physical body, then you will become very health conscious. Even physical body, if you are merely focused on the externalities, you will only be beauty conscious. And beauty is anyway temporary. As the body ages, the beauty of the youth will have to reduce. So at that time, suddenly, if your whole life is dependent upon an impermanent center, if you've been operating from a center which by nature is impermanent, then when the change happens, you will become very disturbed. See, if your center is impermanent, that will cause a lot of insecurity in your life. Again, I am not talking about your external actions, I am talking about the center of your operations. And then Nigrihitani means slowly moving from the senses, that is shifting the center of operations from the physical body, the senses, to the indriyas. Indriyas is the sense centers of the mind. And then from the indriyas, the center will be shifted to the emotions, the mind itself. And then from the mind, finally, to the prajna, wisdom. That is what he is saying. Tasya prajna pratishtita. So once you get firmly established in the prajna aspect within you, thereafter everything which you will do will be based on wisdom only. If your center is emotions, then everything which you do in life will be based on emotions. So it is a gradual shift of the center of your consciousness. Externally, you will be the same. See, supposing, let us say, you are amidst a sense enjoyment. Now, as a beginner also, the external action will be the same. A person who is established in the wisdom also, he may be amidst sense enjoyment. Let us say he chooses to go through the experience of a sense enjoyment for a particular purpose. Now, externally you cannot find any difference. But how do we know whether he is spiritual or not? For that you need to find out where is his center. I told you, Krishna was called a Nitya Brahmachari. Durvasa was called a Nitya Upavasi, an eternal faster. But externally he used to eat all the time. So why is that? They are talking about the center from which they are operating. That was the prajna aspect. Prajna means the eternal wisdom, the infinite, the awareness which was the awareness which is united with the infinite. So actually, how does it go? First, from the gross sense organ. See, when you are at the lowest stage of spirituality, every experience you will go through merely externally. Sense enjoyment will become the center of your life, the external sense enjoyment. So that is when your mind is completely caught up there. When you want to stop, you will be unable to stop. I'm talking of when you want to stop, your mind will be unable to stop. The mind will go on running. See, wherever your center is, that is where your mind will keep running. The funniest part is sometimes I find people shift their centers and put it on others whom they dislike, their enemies. Then your mind will start running towards your enemies only. All your decisions will be based on what my enemies will be thinking, what my today in the management circle, they always talk of competitive edge. They base their entire business on the competitors. This is the higher management. The ancient wisdom is a higher step of management, which is not competing with others, but producing tremendous quality in your work. That should be your center. Should be based on prajna, wisdom. So first you have the physical senses. Then you have the sense centers, the power behind these senses, which is the indriya. So as you start doing your daily sadhana, the yoga sankirtan sadhana, and week after week when you're receiving the higher Shakti, and when you keep attending the empowerment programs which are being opened, these great secrets, the Himalayan secrets are being opened to you all. So as you keep doing all this, what will happen is you will find that your activities being the same, now your affectation will become less because your center will start shifting inward. So instead of merely operating from the sense level, now you will come to the indriya level, the power behind the senses, the sense center. You will go to the next, in between those two is the pranic level, the pranic body is there. The pranic body itself is divided into two aspects. One is called prana vayu sharira and the other is called the nadi chakra sharira. So prana vayu sharira is made up of the gross prana vayus, and that's the aura, And nadi chakra sharira is made up of astral tubes called nadis and chakras, energy centers. We'll be doing all that in the future empowerment programs. Actually, this year, I've got instructions in my meditation to teach you all the next level. I taught you the Kaya Tattva, the 22-day, the ancient secrets of health, which is available. That will be it's available online. That will be a very good, I would say, preparation for the next level, which is going to be Prana Tattva. This year, I'm going to teach you the Prana Tattva in that level 1. That is the Prana Vayu Sharira, which I told you, where 10 Pran Shaktis have to be awakened. And when they are awakened, your aura expands, your physical health improves, and when your aura expands, your personal magnetism increases, your materialization powers will get enhanced. You can achieve more success in life. And then as we go along, I'll be empowering you to shift the center from there to further inside the subtler aspects of your pranas. And then from there, we'll be going to the Mano Tattva, which is the wisdom of the mind. And then finally, you keep on going within, you will get to the prajna aspect within you. It is a slow process of withdrawal, moving from samharate to nigrihitani. It's not an overnight process. As soon as this is given, it's not that till yesterday I was caught up with the senses. Now from today onwards I'll function according to prajna. It doesn't happen that way. This shifting of center is a slow and gradual process which happens to any sadhak who puts in that sincere efforts on a daily basis. During the empowerment programs, the master actually increases the Shakti and speeds up this process of shifting the center. That is why you will find so many changes happening very fast, So one of the key things as you start shifting the center is, see, when your center is too much outside you, then your meditative capacity will be very less. You will not be a calm person. You will be highly agitated. The stress factor will be extremely high. As you practice this withdrawal of consciousness through sadhana and with the master's help, as you begin to shift your center, what will happen is your stress will start reducing. Your calmness will increase. Your positivity will increase. Your inner powers will start getting awakened. Your sankalp shakti means the capacity to decide, think, choose something and manifest it, will start increasing. And when you come to the prajna stage, and when that prajna, the wisdom, is firmly connected with the infinite, which means once you get established in the infinite wisdom within you, then your powers become unlimited. Your happiness becomes infinite bliss you start experiencing. There is absolutely no stress. So this will actually improve the quality of your life tremendously. See, when your center is external, whatever experiences you will be going through in life will be so superficial. You will not complete your experiences. You will not work out your karmas. As the center starts shifting, then that is a time when you start experiencing life more meaningful, with more meaningfully, purposefully. You will start living purposefully. Otherwise, it is just a mechanical existence. It's a rat race, You have no time to think also. One person was telling me, so right from morning till evening, meetings, whole life is going like this. I don't have any time for even thinking. To such people, my suggestion is, take some time in the morning and become regular in your sadhana. Because as your capacity increases, you can start choosing things. See, what for are you working from morning till evening? To that person who had shared, this with me, I am giving the message. What for are you working from morning till evening? It is to earn money, But as your capacity increases, you will be able to earn the same money with lesser efforts at the worldly sense, because your powers would have increased. Your manifestation powers would have increased. Whatever work you're able to complete in 4 hours, now you'll be able to complete it within half an hour, because your concentration would have increased. When your center is outside, that is, when your center is away from the infinite within you, your concentration capacity will be less. You will be a highly distracted person. As you start gathering your energies and you shift your center and you go deeper and deeper within, and you are operating externally, your disturbances, internal disturbances will start reducing. You will be able to focus. Why I am giving you all that is, this is the meaning when he says tasya prajna pratishtita. His wisdom is firmly established, he says. Now you need to now understand how that manifests in your life. Otherwise, you will have no direction. So very, very easily he is saying nigrihitani sarvashah indriyani indriyartebhyah. That is withdrawing, the restraining. Those senses are totally restrained from the sense objects. So to start with, you will restrain your consciousness from the senses to the first layer of your prana, then the higher layers of your prana, then you will go to the mind, and then you will finally hit the wisdom, and that wisdom will be united with the infinite wisdom. So he just uses the word nigrihitani. He doesn't say exactly which stage you are in. That you need to find out. In the first step, when you are withdrawing also, it is nigrihitani only. That is, samharate is when you are practicing, nigrihitani is when you get established in that level. Then after that, you should not stop your practice. You go on withdrawing. Again samharate and then nigrihitani. You keep on progressing till the nigrihitani becomes nigrihitani means becoming firmly established in the infinite wisdom within you, the prajna. That is the message of this verse, shifting of the center. So as a sadhana practice, the tip which I'm giving you is that today, whenever you get some spare time, just sit and casually muse on whatever was said. No need to become very serious about it. See, some people, when they come to spirituality, they become very, very serious like that. It shouldn't be a drudgery. Just casually, but in your spare time when you're free, or I wouldn't say in your spare time also, that is also a compromise. You find time and just sit sit in a relaxed way. Casually means relaxed, that's what I mean. So in a relaxed way, find out your center. How can you find out? Find out what are the things which are affecting me most. In every area of your life, there will be something which is affecting you. That will be influencing your decisions, that will be influencing the way you're talking, the way you're behaving, everything. Is it other people's comments, or is it money, or is it name and fame? See, even when you're putting down your points after the Sunday session, when you're thinking and putting down the points, when you're expressing that YouTube comment section, just find out what is your center. If you are writing so that others will praise you, others will read your points and think, oh, he has understood better, then that is your center. So you need to see what is the center which is common to all the areas of your life. Now that is a sadhana which you can practice today. When you do that practice, that will give you immense clarity, because you will begin to understand why you are behaving in a particular way, why you are doing various things in life, why you are talking in a particular way, what is the root of your behavior, of your emotions, everything will start becoming clear to you. And when that becomes clear to you, then it is very easy to find solutions. Those things which are bothering you will stop bothering you only when you change the center. Without changing the center, if you just look for artificial, superficial solutions, some techniques here and there, that is not enough. That will not give you a permanent solution. So do this small sadhana, this practice. It is not only today, throughout the week, whenever you find time, I wouldn't say whenever you get time, you find time and just sit and see right from young age, what are the things which you have valued most. Sometimes, even as sometimes even as children, I see distinctly some children, they get affected by their friends' grades. If the friend gets a better grade than the child gets affected, which means that is the center for the child. When today it may be in a bud stage, but as the child grows and becomes an adult, this center will grow. So actually, if you want to guide your children, you need to have that clarity and locate the center from which the child is operating, and then slowly you need to teach the child to shift the center to shift the center inward and become very strong. But for that, first you need to be strong. You need to learn to shift your center. So do this sadhana today, and in today's Nididhyasana meditation, I will take you deep within you, make you practice this, moving from outside to the senses, and then to the pranas, to the mind, up to the infinite wisdom level. A glimpse will be given to you, and you will find that itself will, that experience will be tremendous. And the seeds will be sown. Thereafter, it will be easier for you to practice. So before we do the meditation, many questions have come. I'm taking up one question which has been asked by two different people, and that is they've said that they're having anxiety issues, and they want some solution for that. See, anxiety actually comes at the emotional level. You should go back to the previous verses. All those lectures are there. When you start listening to them, your anxiety levels will come down, because when you understand your own mind better. So in case you're taking any tablets, if you're already on treatment, please don't stop the tablets just like that. You start doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana every day. There are many people who had a psychological problems, anxiety issues, and some phobias and all that. And when they did the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana sincerely for 2-3 months, they have reported that all the phobias and anxiety, everything got resolved, because each of these problems actually have some deep roots, some what we call as psychic impressions in the deeper layers of the mind. So unless those are released, the anxiety will not go on its own. It could be anxiety, it could be phobia, anything. It may go temporarily, again it will come back. So the Yoga Sankirtan works on the root and removes all the deeper impressions. And as the problem goes, automatically, when you know that whomever you're consulting here, this doctor, he or she will reduce the tablets and they will stop it. But you don't stop the tablet because one person has asked me, can I stop the tablets? Please don't do that, because you see, these tablets, when you're used to, when your body is used to that, suddenly if you stop, that can actually cause withdrawal symptoms. So you need to always do it under the guidance of the doctor whom you're consulting. So whatever treatment you're taking, let that be there. In the side, you start doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. And one person has written that in the last 1 year, he has developed a lot of anxiety because of the COVID, the pandemic situation and the lockdowns and all that. I request that person to see the 10-day healing course, which is available free online in the YouTube channel. If you can go, you can find that. Do that course once or twice or thrice, how many more times you want, along with the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. That is specifically meant to remove all the anxiety, all the stress. 10 days, just 1 hour every day. And I think the meditation is for around half an hour or so. Those principles, you can start practicing them. So you do the Yoga Sankirtan, go through that 10-day healing course at least once or twice, and leave it for about 2-3 months. Practice this, and then you'll suddenly see that your mind, the base level of the mental calmness would have increased. It will not even take 2-3 months. I am giving 2-3 months just to be on the safer side. But otherwise, within the first week itself, you will find a lot of difference. Within the first month itself, you will find a lot of difference. Even people who have insomnia problems, there's difficulty in sleeping, it is all because of the deep-rooted stress at the subconscious level, at the deeper conscious level. So when they get released, automatically the mental stress also goes away. Stress comes out in different forms. For some people as anxiety, some people as fear, some people as worries. When it goes out of control, that is when they say you require treatment and all that. So kindly do this sadhana for a few months, and then you can, if you have further clarifications, if the problem is persisting, it should not persist. But in case that happens, you can always write to me, because then I need to find out something wrong you may be doing with respect to your sadhana. There may be some particular block which you are unable to release. So how to do that, I can give you more tips. But first you do this general sadhana. Don't expect an immediate solution, an overnight solution. Just in a free way, start doing the sadhana. Okay, and the empowerment courses you should attend, because when you attend the empowerment courses, at one go, a big chunk of all these impressions get released. The blocks get literally dismantled, and pulverized. So that is when tremendous changes in the level of calmness people have experienced. So you practice this, and then if you have any further doubts also, you can clarify. Okay? So now we'll do the meditation. Sit in a relaxed way. Gently close your eyes. deep breathing. With every breath, I'm becoming more and more divine. With every breath, I am withdrawing my consciousness inward. I withdraw my consciousness from the senses to the prana, the life force energy within me. I withdraw my consciousness from the pranas to the mind, the emotions. I withdraw my consciousness from the emotions to the prajna aspect within me, the infinite wisdom. From this moment onwards, every action of mine, every word of mine, every emotion of mine will be directed by the infinite wisdom which is present within me. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today I had introduced you to this concept of this process of withdrawing your consciousness. It is just a start. You don't need to analyze this and try to understand this logically, because this is beyond logic. It is a gradual process of shifting your base, shifting your center. I'm sowing the seeds every week. And when you keep doing your daily sadhana, gradually you'll find that when you're speaking, when whatever it is that you're doing, you will be centered in your wisdom and you will be acting in the world. Nothing in the world will disturb you. Your influence over others, the energy which you will be radiating will become very, very powerful. Don't look for immediate results. Just with a lot of sincerity do the sadhana. As I've repeatedly mentioned to you, if you want to tap the higher grace, you just need to be very sincere. Your bhavana has to be pure. Everything will be revealed in time to you. It is only a question of preparation. Okay? So don't forget to do the sadhana for today, for the entire week, which is find some time, quiet moment. You can even choose about 5-10 minutes and try to locate the center of your life. What is ruling your behavior? What is ruling? Sometimes you may have 2-3 centers also in varying degrees. So you do that sadhana to gain more clarity about yourself. Don't judge yourself. Supposing you find your center is that of money, just be factual about it. Don't say that is wrong. We are not looking at what is right or wrong here. We are only trying to find out what is there and then slowly shift our center towards the infinite. That's all it is. Okay? So we'll meet next week. Thank you very much. Hari Om.